With Putin, I said, if you go in to Ukraine, we're going to bomb the shit out of Moscow. I'm telling you, I have no choice. The public wants it. The public. So he goes like, I don't believe you.
Hi guys, this is Seth, owner and creator of Warthog Defense. For all of you that don't know, I have been showing myself on the channel previously, and I said that I'll be back. And from now I have decided to show myself again on the channel, and I will be do the reading of the videos and you will be hearing my voice. Maybe for some of you that will not be a good solution, but we'll see how things will go. But from now you will see Seth on Warthog Defense. In this story we will see a lot of destroyed Russian equipment and the story about 1 million dead, missing or wounded. Russia's war has left a brutal mark. In a rare and shocking admission, former DNR leader Pavel Gubarev reveals the real human cost of the invasion. Numbers Kremlin will never dare to show on their TV.
Look at how many cities
over 1 million killed, missing or wounded in 3.5 years. Former DNR leader and militant Pavel Gubarev admits the staggering toll of Russia's war, a truth Russian state TV will never air.
Look at how many cities we captured there in these 3.5 years. Well, it's ridiculous. Heck, 3.5 years. 3.5 years. And I claim, that's my opinion, that over 1 million victims killed, missing and wounded, including those who died in hospitals.
Blade Run 3.0. A Russian T-72B3M tank reportedly took at least 5 hits from Ukrainian FPV drones and was immobilized after hitting an anti-tank mine. The vehicle was outfitted with nearly every known improvised protection system. Faced with relentless Ukrainian drone strikes, Russian forces are scrambling to adapt their tanks. Crews are welding metal cages, adding makeshift roof armor, and even covering vehicles with rubber mats and camouflage nets to confuse thermal imaging. Some tanks now carry electronic jammers, hoping to disrupt drone signals. But despite these field modifications, many remain vulnerable as Ukraine continues to outpace Russian defenses with smarter, faster and more precise FPV and loitering drones. We have the latest info here. Between June 24 and 28, 2 strikes hit the 1060th Logistics Support Center in Bryansk, damaging 3 key facilities: a hangar with a rail ramp, a repair workshop and a terminal for loading military equipment onto rail platforms, according to Kyberboroshno. Roof dismantling has begun on the latter 2. The site stores, services and transfers artillery, ammo, fuel and equipment with its rail link, making it vital to Russian military logistics. Last year, during a closed-door meeting with donors, Donald Trump claimed that he once tried to deter Vladimir Putin from attacking Ukraine. He said he had threatened to bomb Moscow to hell. This was reported by the American news channel CNN, which published an audio recording of the statement.
With Putin, I said, if you go in to Ukraine, we're going to bomb the shit out of Moscow. I'm telling you, I have no choice. The public wants it. The public. So he goes like, I don't believe you. He said, no way, and I said, way. And then he goes like, I don't believe you, but the truth is he believed me 10%. I told you this, he believed me 10%. Then I'm with President Xi of China, but I said the same thing to them. I said, you know, if you go into Taiwan, I'm going to bomb the shit out of Beijing. He thought I was crazy. He said, Beijing? You're going to bomb Beijing? I said, I have no choice, I got to bomb them. We're going to bomb Beijing. And he didn't believe me either, except 10%. And 10% is all you need. In fact, 5% would have been okay too. And we never had a problem. We would have never had a problem.
There are a lot of fakes nowadays, often even more than truthful information, said Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov.
Well, look, you're asking me to confirm whether there was a speech by Trump in America when he supposedly spoke with some donors in 2024. Well, at the very least, it is not quite correct. I cannot, no matter how much I wish, either confirm or deny it. It concerns a speech by Trump in 2024 in America. I work in Russia, thank God. Whether it is fake or not, we also don't know. There are a lot of fakes right now. Oftentimes there are much more fakes than true information, and we always start from this when we analyze various news.
No, if I may, they were asking whether Trump really said that to Putin and when it was, if it happened.
It's hard to say. The thing is, there were no phone conversations back then. After all, it's about the period, as far as I understand, when Trump was not yet the President of the United States. Therefore, I recommend you direct your questions to the White House.
US House Speaker Mike Johnson on the sanctions bill against Russia. Putin has shown no willingness to be reasonable or to seriously discuss a peaceful resolution. I believe we need to send him a message. That's my view. His comments came shortly after Senate Majority Leader John Thune indicated the Senate could vote on a Russia sanctions bill led by Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal by the end of the month, and after President Trump said on Tuesday that he was looking at the legislation very strongly. I don't know any details yet, but I know there's an interest in that in the House side, so we'll have to see, Johnson told reporters in the Capitol when asked about the Senate bill. Vladimir Putin has shown an unwillingness to be reasonable and to talk seriously about brokering a peace, and I think we have to send them a message, that's my view, he added. Johnson had previously backed penalizing Russia as the conflict drags on, telling reporters last month, "There's many members of Congress that want us to sanction Russia as strongly as we can, and I'm an advocate of that." But his comments on Wednesday put the Senate's bill, which is veto-proof with more than 80 co-sponsors, on a potential path to President Trump's desk. Zelensky, grateful to Pope Leo XIV for the warm welcome at his private residence, the Papal Palace in Castel Gandolfo. "It is a great honor to be here, in a place where European and world history was shaped over 4 centuries. This meeting and the support for Ukraine and our people is deeply meaningful." US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said he discussed a new and different approach to ending Moscow's war in Ukraine during a meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Malaysia on July 10th, speaking at a follow-up press conference. "I wouldn't characterize it as something that guarantees peace, but it's a concept that, that I'll take back to the president, Donald Trump," Rubio said, without giving further details. "We're going to continue to stay involved where we see opportunities to make a difference." Moscow has consistently ignored a US proposed ceasefire agreement, has escalated attacks on Ukrainian civilians, and Russian President Vladimir Putin declared in June that all of Ukraine is ours. Russia and Ukraine have held 2 rounds of face-to-face talks in Istanbul this year, first on May 16th and again on June 2nd, following more than 3 years without direct negotiations. The meetings resulted in major prisoner exchanges, but no significant steps toward a ceasefire. Rubio's remarks came after a meeting with Lavrov, which took place after another Russia's large-scale drone and missile strike on Ukraine. The diplomatic push continues amid efforts by Trump to broker a ceasefire and peace agreement in Ukraine. However, despite Moscow's intensified attacks, the Trump administration neither imposed new sanctions on Moscow since taking office nor approved additional aid packages. On July 2nd, the Pentagon announced a pause in deliveries of key military aid to Kyiv, including Patriot interceptors and precision-guided munitions. Trump later denied involvement in the decision and expressed frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin for failing to pursue a ceasefire. As of July 10th, shipments of at least some weapons to Ukraine have been reportedly resumed. Earlier in the day, Rubio said that aid to Kyiv is proceeding according to the established schedule. He also echoed Trump's disappointment and frustration at the lack of progress. "We need to see a roadmap moving forward about how this war can conclude, and then we shared some ideas about what that might look like," Rubio added.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.